Hi, I'm Maggie. So for those of you who've been following along, here's the bottom line. If we keep going down the same path that we're on involving wars happening on the planet, then we're going to completely destroy the Earth, similar to the movie 2012. The bombs from the wars are messing up the Earth's balance, and it's fueling supervolcanoes that scientists are saying will erupt around the globe and wipe all of us out. The greedy elite are aware of this, and they don't seem to care as they've invested in their own hideaway underground condos, which they built under the Denver airport to live in when this catastrophic event should happen, believing that it would protect them, but of course that won't protect all of us. So our only hope is to stop the wars from happening, where we could have world peace now. We have to. And the way to stop the wars is to begin by changing the way that we think. But the governments are trying to control what we're thinking through a new bill they're trying to pass right now called the Internet Blacklist Bill. This bill would give the government the power to force internet service providers to block our access to certain websites. It's shockingly similar to what's gone on in places like China and Iran, and it's the kind of thing that's just not supposed to happen here in America. But Senator Ron Wyden of Oregon was able to put a hold on the bill, blocking it from passage this session. But big business lobbyists are pressuring him to back down, so we need to support him and stand up for the people in this way. Yes, because if they censor the internet and don't allow us freedom of information, then we'll continue to illegally control and destroy the world. And we will continue to have these wars based on wrong information, and they'll never be allowed to change it. So that's why it's imperative that we never allow them to censor Wikileaks and support it. Because we figured it out now, humanity has, and we couldn't have done things differently in the past because we didn't know then what we know now, but now we do. So it's part of our evolution, but it's imperative for our survival that we support and move forward to make these needed changes accordingly, because we can't afford not to. Yes, because as we are changing our thinking, we're going to start changing the way we act and change what we're collectively attracting and manifesting on the planet, and that's going to put us on a new path for healing the planet instead of destroying it. And in doing so, the wars will end and will bring about world peace. If you read my book in its entirety, you'll see more of the complete picture. Although I speak to many people in spirit because they aren't ready for some of the things that I've been discussing. They may attack back trying to discredit what I've said or shoot the messenger here because people resist change and growth. However, I've said it so their spirit did receive the information, even if just subconsciously, where many people are still in a processing mode, so they go through stages of anger and denial, but they will eventually arrive at the truth. It just may take some a little longer. But that's what the first chapter of my book is about, which is titled, Are We Ready for the Truth? Some call it religion when one believes what they want to believe while ignoring the facts. But the truth can't be covered up forever because it's the truth, and the truth will always stand as the truth and eventually come out, and the truth will set us free, so we need to embrace and support the truth. Because my book is titled, The Power of Truth Will Save the World, but at the moment, the greedy elites covered up the truth for their own financial benefit. However, it doesn't actually benefit them, but they don't seem to understand that yet, how together everyone achieves more. Meanwhile, equally, not enough people are fighting to have the truth because they don't want to realize that we've been duped, or perhaps they're still learning to leave their egos at the door, as Eckhart Tolle teaches. But we must move forward and deal with things. Because we don't have the truth, meaning it's not been allowed into mainstream for everyone to know is the truth. YouTube is not considered mainstream, such as Fox News might be. So let's be grateful for YouTube, because it's one of the few channels that we have left to share information. Yes, because the problem is, since both the greedy elites and the general masses of people are resisting change regarding their issues in this way, being apathetic, we're not getting the information, and it's about to cause the earth to explode. Yes, because nuclear bombs and military weapons is the dumbest and most destructive thing that we have on this planet, and it's messing up the earth's equilibrium and balance. So it's most probable that the earth will soon have to detox itself from all of this. Basically, God is about to set the reset button, and we're going to have to clear out all of the bad karma, and then we're going to have to start all over again and see if we can get it right the next time in another billion years. And that's a lot for humanity to have to start from scratch all over again. So that's why I've started this mission for world peace and wrote my book to stop the nonsense. World peace is the only hope that we have to save the planet. We must stop what we're doing and wake up and put down our weapons and restructure the way that we're doing things so they could allow for healing and constructiveness. If anyone's having trouble doing that, perhaps they could try taking their aggressions out on a basketball court or other sport. And if that doesn't work, maybe we could send them to the next experimental flight out to Mars, where they could work out their issues and have some time to reflect out there. Because we have to think global and consider Mother Earth. Otherwise, she won't consider us and we'll all be done. So we have to get rid of the destructive things on this planet immediately and go green in every area of our lives. And then we need to pray for the earth to settle down and naturally come back into balance for us. Remember, when you give a healing, you get a healing. So notice as you pray for the earth, it will continue to help heal you also and help to settle all of us down. So then we could get off this path involving the reset button and onto a new path involving peace and healing. We need government reform to do this, and it obviously won't happen voluntarily. The best suggestion that I've seen to change is to create this computer system where everyone would vote on all of the issues through a computer party, and this could put the government back into the hands of the people. And then the people could have the power to move forward and vote on all of the other wonderful ideas we've had to help, such as that from the Green Party, the Libertarian Party, the Peace and Freedom Party, the Independent Party, or the World Citizens Party. So we should just look to all of these people to join forces and bring about change, where perhaps we could just call it the Third Party or the People's Party, and with the basis to build a new computer system where the people could control the voting in this way and take back our government. Yes, let's avoid the reset button and do it. There are very few world peace organizations or movements in the world because there's no funding for it, similar to what I've experienced in these videos or my book. Wars make money as it supports our old ways of government, but world peace does not, so it's almost impossible to get funding under our existing structures. But the closest thing that I've seen to a world peace movement is our world government by world citizens. And once we have a computer system in place, the people could move forward to implement these types of ideas, especially as they become more aware and educated about what it is and how it can serve us. Yes, and that is part of the real solution. We need everyone to be more educated and aware about these worldly issues so that we could all participate and do this together. Because none of us can do it alone. We need you. Marianne Williamson, Dennis Kucinich, and some of the others involved had a good idea to create a U.S. Department of Peace, which would be a step in the right direction. However, it hasn't even passed yet, and ultimately it won't work anyhow, because we can't get rid of the wars until we could make it a World Department of Peace to represent us globally. And that's what world citizenship is all about. If the U.S. was truly interested in peace, we wouldn't be involved in 6 wars right now, and in the least, the Department of Peace would have passed and been implemented years ago. Now, some of you are saying, well, that's what the United Nations is for. But as Gary Davis says, the word United Nations is an oxymoron. The nations will never be united because they're politically conflicted. It's just as Hillary Clinton, the U.S. Secretary of State, was found sending U.S. officials to spy on the United Nations officials. If we were united with the United Nations and acting as a team with them, one love, then why do we need to spy on them? If we weren't politically conflicted, we wouldn't have to. The United Nations doesn't work, and if it did, we wouldn't have all the wars happening in the world going on, which we do. And this is also why Wikileaks was trying to blow the whistle, to bring about truth and stop the nonsense. Yes, it's also interesting that while they were busy trying to put bogus rape charges on Julian Assange, meanwhile there was another trial going on where the president of Israel was just convicted of rape charges and put in jail, and they're supposed to be one of our biggest allies. So the solution isn't exactly about a witch hunt, nor is it about finding a savior. Although some people do seem to help the situation more than others, don't they? But change that's instigated by a little embarrassment is better than change being forced to happen through bombs, because now it isn't even an option. It can't wait. And the problem is that none of the governments represent us globally to represent the people. Similarly, the International Criminal Court was set up by all of the countries to help stop war crimes, but it has also been a failure. Otherwise, there wouldn't be continued wars and war crimes that have been happening. So we need to move forward with another plan, which I've been discussing. Please feel free to discuss your ideas about this with us too, and I want to thank you for tuning in, and please watch for more of these videos here on YouTube. And I also want to thank YouTube for supporting our free speech here. Thank you, YouTube.